everyone. Welcome to Green and Gorgeous. I am joined here with my co-host Tori, and we have Danielle guest starring for us tonight. Danielle, how are you doing?
I am good. How are you ladies?
Good, good. Yeah, having a good week?
I am. I'm enjoying some at home time, so I can't complain.
Very good. What about you, Tori? How are you?
Not too bad. It's almost Friday, thank God, because I thought it was Friday when I woke up today. So,
Oh
The
no, that's
worst. The
the
worst.
worst. The worst. Oh man.
well, as you can see, everyone, we have our guest Danielle. So, how about Danielle? You tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey everyone, I am Danielle. I am, oh my God, I literally tried to think about how old I was. I'm 25 years old. I currently live in Queens. I live with my two best friends, which is super awesome, but I am home recovering from a small procedure. I'm all good, but I'm spending some great quality at home time and I get to decorate for the holidays, which is super exciting.
Oh, that's always fun.
Mhm.
That's awesome. So, did you grow up in Queens or in not Queens, but New
I
York
grew
and
up
all
in New
that?
York. Born and
Awesome.
raised.
So, then how is it that you became a Packers fan?
So it is an embarrassing story, but it is the story I have to tell. When I was in middle school, I was on the cheerleading team and I had a crush on a boy who played football. So I made my dad teach me what football was and to try to get the guy's attention. But of course, I couldn't pick a New York team. That's too obvious because that's what he liked. And my favorite color is yellow. So I narrowed
Nice.
down all the teams that had yellow in their logo and just kept flipping a coin until I got to two teams. And I was either going to be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan or a Packers fan. And I am very lucky with the outcome.
Very, very good choice. Interesting that that's the team we beat in our Super Bowl in Super Bowl
Yeah.
45.
Just thinking about that.
Mhm.
So, the Battle of the Yellow for you. I'm
Yes.
so happy that you had that. Did you have a favorite player, I guess growing up or when you first started liking us?
Yeah. So I think I was 12 at the time I started looking at football, and Jordy was my guy. He was the
Hmm.
first, not only now that I got football, they were always good to look at, but he was the first player I thoroughly enjoyed watching, and we can all agree Jordy was something so special. So
Oh,
it's
for sure.
Jordy all the
Yeah.
way.
How about now? Who's your favorite player on the team now?
You can't help but love Aaron Jones. He is,
Hmm.
besides the fact that he's doing it all for us this season, just him, yes, just him
Yes.
and how much he loves his family. He just
Hmm.
seems like the type of person that you would want to be your friend.
Oh
Yeah,
my God, I
absolutely.
love him. I named my fantasy team after him. My fantasy team name is Erogenous Jones. So that
Incredible.
is, I had to name my fantasy team after him. I love the guy. He's also on another fantasy team of mine, and I rarely pick Packers players,
Hmm.
but I had a good feeling about him considering we didn't know how our run game was going to be, or our passing game was going to be this
Yeah.
year. So,
Yeah, no, he's great. He's one of the jerseys that I own, and it's just one of those things that you put it on, and you're you just like supporting the guy because,
Hmm.
like you said, he's great on and off the field, and I love watching his Instagram stories when he has his little kid with him, and he is just
Yes.
the cutest little
oh my
kid.
God,
I think
yes.
even on Monday they were at Lambeau when they got to say that he was going to be our Payton
Mhm.
Walter.
Peyton Man
Walter
of the Year.
Payton. There you go.
Walter, I always want to call him Walter Payton Manning, even though I know that's not right, but that's the train my brain goes down. And yeah, Walter Payton Man of the Year, and I was rightfully so, rightfully
100%.
so.
Oh
I
yeah,
hope
for
I
sure.
hope he wins it.
I would love for him to I would love nothing more than for him to win it.
Hmm.
So I have a curious question because Emily, isn't in Wisconsin. I'm not, and Haley's not. And so how do you feel about the Giants fans or the Jets fans around you? Do you
So,
think they're okay?
um, they were a lot more fun the past few years when they didn't beat us because everyone and their mother texted me when
Oh
those two
no.
losses occurred. So that was a tough pill to swallow. But being in the city, I obviously it's getting colder. I got my little Packers beanie on. So I always get a go Pack go. And I'm like, hell
Oh.
yeah. So that's fun. But my half my family's Packer fans, half of them are Jets fans. So that's always fun. But my roommate and best friend is a Jets fan, and we watched that game together. And I think I emotionally shut down because
that's fair. That's acceptable.
I also went to the London game with my friend who's a Giants fan.
Oh wow,
and this could be so good. And I'm just like sitting there at the end of the game, like beer in hand, just like chugging.
just downing the whole
I'm like, this cannot be over soon enough.
I'm just like picturing, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the show How I Met Your Mother. Great show if you're not familiar. But like she's holding a drink, finishes it, like the guy's there with another drink. Thank you, Linus. Like that's just what I'm picturing.
Yeah, no, I get that. Even like watching it, like thinking back to that game, and just kind of just the downfall of the rest of the weeks. And I have one friend that's a Jets fan, and she catches up with football on occasion, not so much, but she texted me that night and was like, "What happened?" And I was like, "Lord knows, I don't." Like, I watched the game. I'm speechless. And I was like, "Congrats on your win." And she was like, "Okay."
Don't you just hate when they just like roll out of the woodwork? You're like, you watch football?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I'm like, haven't talked to you since high school. Why do you care still? Because so I grew up in Minnesota, so I have to deal with Vikings fans right now, and it's atrocious.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my God.
I will say, living in Dallas and having the one win over them, all of my coworkers, like especially like, they beat up on the Vikings the next week and they rolled over Indianapolis, which, everybody and their mom's doing that. But all of my coworkers are like, how did y'all beat us? How? And I'm like, I don't know. I
every team has that team that they like will struggle with.
Yeah,
I feel like everyone has that team. Like obviously for us, we can't fucking beat the 49ers, but yeah, and I guess we're just that Cowboys team. Like that's just us. I'm glad we get to be someone's team.
I know, and I was saying earlier, like I have not been here since before the game, so we never even got a chance to like talk about it. But like even like after winning, like I cried. I was very emotional. That whole drive home back to my grandparents' house, I sat there and refreshed my screen over and over again for an hour and a half, just like, did we really win? Because for me, I couldn't believe it. And like the roller coaster of emotions that game was, surrounded by 78,000 other people that were feeling the same emotions, was just like all over the place. Like it was like, okay. And then I was like, we might. And then when we went up, it was like, we might again. And then they scored and they scored and they scored. And I was like, oh, this is bad. Like this is just progressively getting worse. And then we scored and we scored again and it went to overtime. And I'm like, honestly, I'm okay. Like, I'm okay. Either way, we made it to overtime. Like, that's fine. And then after we kicked the field goal, I was like, really? We just won? Like,
that would have been, I'm like so jealous. Like, because I wanted to go to that game so bad.
I know.
And like, that would have been such a fun game to be at because like, we are down 5 losses. Like, we are just like begging for a win. And like, it's the Cowboys too on top of all of that. That would have been like such a fun atmosphere. It would have been an amazing.
It was probably, I'm not sure how much like on like from watching it you could see, but there was a fair amount of Cowboys fans there, and the collective gasp in the air when A, it went to overtime, but B, Crosby kicked the game-winning field goal. Like you could cut that with a knife. Like all the Cowboy, it was like gasping from like disbelief for the Cowboy fans, and like a sense of relief for the Packer fans. Like it was just the weirdest like. And I mean, fireworks were going off, and I'm like crying, and I'm like,
I would have blacked out, like mentally.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my God, where am I?
Yeah, and I actually filmed him kicking the game-winning field goal because I was like, well, if he misses, I'll just delete the video. But I was like, especially because we just don't know these days, and so I was like, that was the one thing. Even though it was like sitting in the end zone, like I didn't record any of Watson's touchdowns. Like my hands were just frozen, and that was the one thing that I actually went and recorded. And I was like, he did it. I was like, we did it. So I've said, I was like walking out, I was like, I don't care if we lose another game. Like, I don't care. That was my Super Bowl.
Did.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
4 days later, Victory Monday was not long enough.
Yeah, right? Well, speaking of Victory Monday, how about that Bears game, guys? What do you guys think?
I feel alive. I feel something for the first time in a there was just so many things that went right, and we are on a season of everything going wrong, and to see to see special teams, to see offense, see defense, all playing well in one game. It's like, wow, it took us 13 weeks to get to here. Like, it's great that we see that we can get to here. It just took far too long.
Way too long.
But it's nice to see that it can happen. It's just it might be too late for us. But there is always something so fantastic being the Bears. There really is.
There's my God.
Like it. And
again, we get to be that team that they just can't beat.
Yeah. And now we're the winningest team in football history.
Which is awesome.
And for it to be because we beat them to get it.
Oh my God, it just made it so much better.
Even better.
Now we just have to
it's romantic. It's romantic.
Yeah.
Right?
I love the picture of Watson when he's in the end zone, but the Packer fan that's sitting there like this, I'm like, that is my goal, to be that person, like the person that did the video or the picture where he was like, where it was here in Cowboy City when he, Cowboys fans celebrating with whatever time left.
Yeah.
Like that picture was iconic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and there's been so many like iconic pictures over the years, and I'm like, why can't that be me? Like, that's what I want. I want to be that iconic person that everyone's zooming in on, just like having that facial expression. That was beautiful.
That's me. I zoom in on everybody because there was the Bears.
The Bears, like one, like, oh my God, like, are you fucking kidding me? And I was like, yes. I mean, I don't know. It's nice to see us get a win. Is it the only win we will have for the rest of the season? Will we still play the Rams and the Lions? I'm hoping we at least got 2 more in us.
Yeah.
But I still feel like the Bears game was like still too close for me.
Oh,
especially with like Fields coming off injury. Yes, he has been doing much better, and it's probably since we've started bashing on him because things go that way with us. But he's been doing better, but still like a partially injured Justin Fields. It's nice to see Watson continue to show up. I love seeing him play well. So we have some things to work on for sure still, but the win's a win.
Yeah. Especially against Bear fans, because they like to talk crap all. And then afterwards it was this one was meaningless for y'all and y'all should have had. Oh, hi, Haley.
Oh, I didn't know what that was.
Like, Bear
Great,
fans
you scared Danielle, Haley. My goodness.
They're just, talking trash, and it's like, well, it was still a win. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if y'all pulled y'all's players. It doesn't matter what the situation is. Like, it was still a win.
Yeah.
So
I'll take it. Do you think things are going to continue to improve for the rest of the season, or was just like a small one that we're going to have for the rest of our crappy season?
Our 11% chance to make the playoffs or whatever we're at.
I don't even think it's that high.
It was 6.
Oh no, I think it's like 5. I thought we went from like a 3 to a 4% chance or something.
I thought it was 11%. I could be wrong.
No, we went from 11 to 6 when that game tied. The stupid Giants Commanders game.
Yeah, that's
the worst possible outcome
out of all
for us. A tie.
God,
yeah,
dang, the freaking ties.
They can't do us any favors. Yeah, because it's like the stars have to align, this has to go right, this has to go right, this has to go right, this has to go right. I don't think we'll make the playoffs, but I hope that there's improvement enough to where there's something that they can build off of next year. I'm just hoping
for a good finish at this point. Like, give me something. I am accepting the no playoffs this
and it is kind of nice because I saw someone tweet, it was like, well, the Packers don't have to break my heart in the playoffs because we're not going to make it.
Can't make the playoffs.
It is kind of nice because these past couple of years, like, have sent me to cardiologists, year after year. So it's kind of nice to be able to not have to, I can already accept defeat and grace and not have to cry about it. So.
Right. Like you can't lose in the NFC Championship if you don't make it to the playoffs. I love our team. I love them. I love them, but damn, they hurt me. I don't know. What do you think, Danielle?
So, I think that we're not going to win out. Let's be real. No. I would love to even optimistically say we'll get 3 more wins, but I hope. I have such high hopes, but I get so disappointed.
And okay, what 3 wins are you thinking?
We're going to lose to the Dolphins.
Christmas.
I honestly feel almost more confident about the Dolphins and the Vikings, just because like the Dolphins just lost to the 49ers.
It's that PEMDAS that cancels out. If we can beat one team, we can beat the other.
Exactly.
I want to win on Christmas. I think
It's a Christmas miracle.
yeah.
I would love it, but I don't know. It's just you saw the way that we couldn't stop Tua's run.
Yeah.
I mean Hurts's run game,
Yeah.
and they just play so similar.
Mhm.
So, I mean, and the Eagles did the same 2 plays the entire game. He either ran it or they threw it to the sidelines.
Yeah.
So, if you can't stop the guy with the ball, you're never gonna get. I can't. It's so frustrating. So that's why I just think that the Dolphins are gonna get away
Just
from
run
us.
all over us.
Yeah.
I
Unfortunately.
cannot. I am so frustrated about how excited everyone was about this defense. And
At me.
I'm like gonna go back and find our like first couple during like, you know,
Top 5
preseason and all
defense.
that. Yeah, right. Top
3
5.
defense.
No, not
Yikes.
even close.
Yikes.
Atrocious.
Yikes.
My God.
If
I will
Haley
be the-
since she's not with us, can we talk about Jair?
I was about to say, I will be the first to admit that I slander on the TL a little bit, but the second I slander, he does something good. So I guess I must yell at him for him to succeed. But yeah, no, people are gonna start coming at me. He needs to start playing consistent because I'm gonna get so much hate if I keep saying he's bad.
Oh yeah, and Haley's gonna come right for you.
Oh, I think she has. I think she said Danielle.
It's just interesting because it's like they do good stuff, but then it's like you literally played against the Eagles. Jalen Hurts had what 400 yards or whatever it was, ridiculous.
Like 363.
And then you play against
terrible.
another team that has a running quarterback, and it's just rinse and repeat. It's like you obviously didn't watch the footage, you know, to know like, oh, whatever.
That's for you, Danielle.
Yeah,
but
I do feel like,
I get it.
But like also Barry does need to do a better job of putting these guys in the correct position before the play even starts. Because like they can, of course, they're going to have to do their position. Being a veteran, you'd hope you can pick up on something. But like he is the coach. Like,
what are you doing?
Give them a better opportunity to succeed.
They dropped down way too far. Why are we playing 10 yards behind?
Yeah. Soft defense.
Oh my God. I can't even like think of all the things that have pissed me off when I've seen it.
But just watching even Justin Fields on that one run when he had like 56 yards or something ridiculous, It's like, how many men cannot run after him? I'm like, just tackle him. Like, just how, where are you going? I don't get it. The other thing that I've noticed a lot this year, not necessarily with our team, but some with the other teams too, is that these players are so terrified to tackle the quarterback. I watched it a lot in the Mahomes Burrow game, but even more so like with our players, like they were scared to tackle Jalen Hurts, and I get it.
The roughing the passer calls have been pretty ridiculous this year.
You have to land on them, but you can't land on them, and so that's contorting your body. I get that, but at the same time, I'm like, if they're running, it's a free game. And I'm not saying like to, Minnesota Viking Rodgers, but I'm like, there's got to be a happy medium of being able to tackle the quarterback without hurting them, number one, because player safety, obviously, but just without getting all those stupid penalties. Because it's like, that's the move for the future of the NFL is having a quarterback. That's the system. That's where we're going.
Sure. I was having that same exact discussion on like Sunday. I think like we were talking about that roughing the passer call, and with, like you said, the NFL seems to be going that direction. I do not like it, but like we are going towards these running quarterbacks, and if these running quarterbacks have the ball and they are trying to make moves, you need to accept the fact that they are going to get hit, and they are going to get hit hard. Don't hit them when they're clearly going out of bounds.
Yeah.
But if they're running on the sidelines, trying to get those extra yards with those little feet.
Yeah.
But no, you can hit them and shove them out of bounds, and that should be fine. You should not be scared to do anything.
Yeah, you don't hurt them, or you don't aim to hurt them, but it's just going to turn into the Pro Bowl. These players are scared to tackle each other, and they just run amok. And if we don't have a quarterback that runs, which there's pluses and minuses to it, but if we don't have a quarterback that's running, it's just that's just kind of where I'm seeing things go. And I think that there was a lot that happened, and then I think with Tua too, especially because Tua kind of has a invisible glass ball around him right now just because of previous injuries, rightfully so. But we'll be curious to see how they actually handle that on Christmas Day.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting, but so before the Bears game, guys, the Packers said that they're going to be starting Rodgers as long as he is healthy to play. Do you guys support this decision, or do you think we should go a different route?
Emily, you go. What do you have to say?
I was like, I can call on someone if I have
No,
to.
no, it's fine. I'm all for it. I have said this day in and day out. I don't know how I feel about Jordan Love. Yeah, he looked okay, but at the same time, our best bet is still Rodgers. So I'd like to see him play as long as he's healthy. Crucify me if you want. I'd like to see him back on the team next year. I think with Watson and Dobbs. How do we say that? We say his name? Dobbs.
Dobbs. But we like the Dubs.
We like the Dubs, yes. With that man and Tori, which I think is also how you say his name, right? The other guy, Sam.
It's like a fancy way of saying my first name. Is how
yeah,
I think
exactly.
of it.
I'd like to be able to see him back on the team next year. Have one last year, see what we can do. Which that was what this year was supposed to be, but see what we can do next year, and then have him hang up his cleats.
So I kind of from like the start, I think I even said it in like some of our first episodes that I think Rodgers got 2 years in him. I think this is the year that he's going to try and figure out all these new people and then next year come back and hopefully do better. This is not going well, but I know Haley's going to be cringing in her bed while I say this, but it's okay. She's feeling too weak to even probably type anything that long. But I say, yes, we need to keep Rodgers for right now. We paid the man. We need to use him. But I do think that the coaches are scared to take him out when he needs to be taken out, and they need to step up. Like, you're an authority here. Take this man out if he is not performing well. Hold him accountable. He is the one saying that they need to have people be held accountable for when they're messing up. Take him out, pull him out of the game if we need to, and put Love in. Like, Love did good for the 2 drives we saw him, but like that's not enough to again like seal the deal in my opinion.
No,
like,
I agree.
I need to see more.
I think that what you said perfectly is we paid him so much money. He needs to be on the field, except obviously if injury takes him out. But Jordan Love, the rush that I got watching him, I don't know if it was because it was the possibility of winning or because it was going good. I would love to see him have more opportunities in situations like that, because obviously preseason is totally different than being on the actual field and having the drive that could potentially win the game. So do I wish I could see him in the situations? Yes, but I don't think it's time for Rodgers to become a backup.
I think that they needed to bring Love in earlier in the season, like when Rodgers was really hurt, like, and not just like the ribs, because that's when he did come in, but like his thumb has clearly been affecting him.
Oh yeah.
And I can only assume that's part of why this accuracy is such an issue that has never been an issue in the past. And because if you're holding onto a ball and you don't have that like extra support there, yeah, you're going to get those wobbly balls. And Haley said that like week 1, I think. She's like, what is up with these wobbly balls? Or not week 1, it was like week 3. But like, what is with these wobbly balls? And now we have a reason for it. So I wish they would have brought him in and just like sat Rodgers a game. It would have been nice to have a bye week, like week 7 or something.
It killed us.
Not having the bye week until this week has been terrible.
How do y'all feel about like Mark Murphy's comments about the Jordan Love when they said, will they pick up the 5th-year option on him, when he said we've seen all we need to see? Like, what has he seen that we haven't seen? Because that's but again, is it a positive, like we're keeping him, or is it
that's something that I just think could be taken either way. I would not be surprised if honestly we use. Obviously, we're going to have a pretty decent draft pick, I'd like to think, depending on how we finish. I wouldn't be surprised if like we try to get a quarterback this draft and then use Jordan Love to trade, because he's shown he can make these passes or something. He's shown he can do something. You can work with him. Teams that are desperate might try for him, and we might be able to get a trade. I won't be surprised. I don't know how I feel about that, but
would you rather have a rookie in us quarter, like not next year? So 2023 season, I was a question, because Roger plays next year. Moving on to 2024 season, would you rather have a rookie quarterback, or would you rather have someone that sat under Rodgers for 5 years?
Oh no, like I would rather have someone that sat for Rodgers. Ideally, and like what I would like is to see when Rodgers retires, if rather that be this year or next year. I know, again, Haley's definitely thinking it's going to be this year because this is just speaking worlds to her. But whether it be this year or next year, I would like to see Love for maybe he's only got a little bit left in the contract, so it'd be like a year or something.
If that.
And then again, like I said, trade, and they're going to probably try and get someone. But I need someone special.
I was going to say it depends on who they can get, because if we're trading away the guy that sat under Rodgers for all this time for starting completely fresh, he has to be ready. And
he needs to be coming out ready to go.
Yeah, I would say we would need someone like Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. Like a
even Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith for a year, though.
That is true.
Alex Smith, not an amazing quarterback by any means, not a shitty one though.
Yeah.
And I think he actually was like helpful with him. Like Patrick Mahomes has talked about how Alex Smith has like taught him things. And so it would be nice for our quarterbacks to do the same.
But even you see with like Trevor Lawrence, last year was not a great year. This year has been semi-okay. Trying to think the other guy, Mac Jones, he played and then got injured, and now there's drama with him.
Yeah.
Drama with Zach Wilson. Just all these new guys that we're supposed to have, great.
Yeah. Do we think that like Zach Wilson just slept with his coach's wife or something?
I don't care what else happens the rest of the season. Like, that's the highlight, that he slept with his friend's mom.
Oh, that's the highlight of his entire career, is that he has slept with his friend. Yeah, that is definitely the highlight of his career, which is sad to say for a football player, not a porn star, but it is what it is. Maybe he can have a career somewhere else. Unexpected career change. Anyways, so obviously we mentioned how desperately we need a bye week. What do you think about, do you think this bye week has came too late, or is there still like some good things to come from it? And what do you think needs to come from the bye week?
I think at this point it's just another week, honestly. Like, with it being so late with us, I think it'd be different if we were like, I don't even know how many games we've played. This is week 14.
We played 13.
It's about to be week 14.
This is week 14 now. Yeah.
Okay. So it'd be different if we were like 10-3. Then this would be like a great, we've made it this far with this many wins. But to have it at the end of the season with a 4% chance of making it to the playoffs, it's just another week. I saw like Randall Cobb and his family are in Tennessee. David Bakhtiari had his baby yesterday.
I did see that.
So good things are happening, but it's just kind of another week. They'll be back next week on the Monday night, which, Tori, you're going to that game, right?
Oh my God, yes. I'm so excited. I have been just energetic as hell at work, because I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, oh my God, a couple weeks I won't be here on a Monday. I'll be somewhere else.
Are you staying in town for a couple days, or?
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drive up either Friday or early Saturday to Minnesota. I'm going to see my family for a Christmas. I'm going to do a photo shoot for my friend and her mom, who unfortunately just got diagnosed with cancer. So I'm going to do a quick photo shoot before she's going through chemo. Mm-hmm. And then I'll be driving over on Sunday, and we're going to stay with my dad's uncle, who lives less than 10 minutes from the stadium.
Fantastic.
Oh, that's so nice.
I'm so excited. So if anyone out there has tailgating things, please let me know. I love to tailgate, and I bring good food.
Have you gone to a game yet this season?
I haven't been to a game since I was 11.
Oh my God.
Stop. This is so exciting.
This is so exciting. Yes.
We're going to celebrate.
My heart rate is increasing. My watch is asking if I'm exercising.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
No, I'm so excited. I know. I've been to more Vikings and Packers games, the ones it was the Metrodome at the time. I haven't been to any. I guess I saw the Packers at Arrowhead last year.
Yeah.
And I've gone the other time that they came, because that's when we got engaged and all that. So I've seen them, but it's going to be so much better to be at that stadium.
Oh yeah.
On a Monday night in December.
I know. I hope it snows. I want it to snow.
Imagine it's a snow game.
Oh my gosh. I hope it snows. But yeah, I'm excited. We're doing the tour because it's been so long. Jared's never been. And of course, Lambeau's just a very historical, place. So like he's excited for even just that.
Are you gonna get him in a Packers jersey, or is he gonna wear something?
Probably
Kansas,
not. I'm
Okay.
like I'm gonna hide the Chiefs hats. Honestly, I think
Okay.
he can hear me, but like
He doesn't have the option.
I was like, I better not see a single ounce of fucking red.
Be like, just wear a green short shirt. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, just wear a green shirt.
I was like, yeah, you got like, oh my God. So my dad told him, like, you need boots. And he's like, I think I'll be fine. And my dad's like, you need boots. Like, it's going to be freezing cold.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, it's been pretty warm up there. It's been like 30s and stuff.
When we went
Pretty
at
warm.
that game, it was 33 degrees when it started. And by the time that we got to our car that night, it was 21 degrees.
I say the thing that's going to suck is that it's a night game. So it's
Yeah.
going to drop, of
Drop
course.
even more.
But, I mean, oh well.
Oh, it's worth it. It's lots of layers.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing that I heard after the game was that they said to get a heated jacket, because I saw people walking around with not like a lot of layers, even though I look like the kid from A Christmas Story where it was like, I can't put my arms down.
Yeah, right.
And that was me sitting there with all 13 layers. And I didn't know what shirt won us. And so on Thursday, whenever I came back over here for the Titans game, I was like, can y'all put y'all's house down to a nice cool 22 degrees? Because I don't know what shirt won us the game, and I got to wear them all. But I did wear a shirt on Sunday that I wore to the game, and I think that might be the shirt I'm going to continue wearing for the next couple of weeks. So I think I might have found out of all
there
those
you
layers.
go.
But
Whatever
yeah, I
helps.
get a heated jacket because
I don't have a heated jacket, but I have this like rechargeable hand warmer.
Okay.
That's like a little like pocket thing, and I don't know if you can bring those in, but
yeah,
I feel like you can. They might just like look at it a little bit more.
Oh yeah, no, I brought like a full battery pack for my phone and everything like that.
Okay, yeah, and that's basically what it is because you can charge it in, but yeah, it heats up, and like I'll just hold on to it. Like obviously, I'm gonna wear gloves. I'm gonna wear everything I can.
The alcohol will help.
Yes. Again, tailgating. Anyone let me know? I am a great time.
Are you gonna wear a beanie?
Of course. I have my Packers beanie. It's like one of my favorite accessories.
I had the first beanie that I would start taking pictures at the rings with my dad, and somehow the beanie was sitting way up high like a gnome. And so I was like, Dad, switch me hats because this just looks atrocious. And he was like, it looks fine. And I'm like, no, it looks bad. So we switched beanies. I put on a different beanie and we retook the photos. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And at the end of the game, we took a photo with myself, my dad, and my brother. And even though we had switched hats, even though I kept pulling my hat down at the end of the game, my hat was still sitting up here. And I was like, who did that to me? Like, why? So I actually ended up buying a band that goes around. So next year, I'm not going to wear the beanie. Next year, I'm going to wear the thing because hopefully that won't sit up here like a gnome head.
Yeah. I got I sent you, I know, Emily, the leather jacket I found on Facebook Marketplace. So like I got that. I got a sweatshirt I'll throw on. And I'll probably throw a jersey on top of that as well. So I know how to layer. I grew up in Minnesota. I'll be all right.
I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. Well, anyways, back to this bye week. So obviously health is, I think we can all just agree that health is like one of the biggest things that we need to get from this. I hope that Rodgers will finally get a rest so that his thumb can hopefully do something because I need to see some more accuracy from him. And then Aaron Jones also left the game at half as questionable, and he is a huge part of our offense. So we need to fix something here. I'm tired of outscoring people on the injured report and not on the field, honestly.
That's one W for the week. For the
right, yeah. There's our one W. Is like we have the most people on our injured report.
that one Lions game was just taking us out left and right.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! It was. My dad was like, he couldn't get it because the Vikings were playing at the same time, so he could just see the bottom scrolls, and he's like, "Oh my God, it won't stop!" And then it finally stopped. I was like, oh, that's not enough names. And then it brought up a second row of more people. And he's like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was so bad.
I'm glad that we don't have to go back, at least for next season. But I'm really happy that the players started talking about it and they've got to do something for these fields. Like it's
advocating
unsafe.
for the turf.
Yes, I've seen multiple players in the NFL like start. Like I know, like Travis Kelce was one that was like, we need to get rid of this altar.
Bakhtiari is huge on it.
Yep, Bakhtiari was another really big one on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like they take out the players, and it's like that's not fair. Like,
And that's
you
also
have a home field
that's their
advantage of injuring players.
that's their
Mhm.
bodies. Like,
Yeah,
you tear an ACL, it
you're
is
done.
yes, you're coming back. Don't get me wrong. These players have the stuff around them to get them back, but like when you're done playing, you know what's going to hurt? When it rains, your knee's going to hurt. You want to know how I know? Because my knee hurts. And
When it rains.
It's been 6 years since my surgery.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it's
And I'm
unsafe.
25. I have arthritis at 25. So yeah, like it's health. Like that's a big health
Yeah,
issue.
it's safety.
And don't tell me that you can't afford to upkeep a grass field.
Mhm.
Like, don't tell me you can't afford that.
Yeah, no, and especially the NFL makes enough money that they should be able to edit that and like fix the fields for the players. You know, you want to keep making money and having these big, huge games. You got to do something to protect the players' health.
For sure. I mean, again, that's their body. They're putting on the line for our entertainment. But
Exactly.
so yeah, just treat them good. Out of the bye week, we play the Rams. What do you guys think?
Could be
I
interesting with the new QB.
I think we can win.
I think we can win.
Yeah.
I think them picking up Baker Mayfield was really good on their part because obviously Stafford's out with the vertebrae contusions and stuff.
Ooh.
So picking up Baker as a backup is that's not a bad backup.
Mm-hmm.
So like when they picked him up, I was like kind of like shit. I hope he doesn't play. Like
Yes,
who's
I
having
had the same reaction.
He got picked up as a backup. I thought he was going to be their starting quarterback.
Well, like he's starting for them, but like he's
okay.
a backup. You know,
Backup,
like they're
yeah.
starting
Okay,
because
gotcha,
the guy's hurt.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, because
Sorry.
they're playing tonight. So I don't know what their score is, but
all I know is that Josh Jacobs got me a running touchdown. So
hell yeah!
You just started. That's incredible. All I know is that Tori will be there.
Yes,
I will, and
She
yes,
must
again, I will
bring
be
the
there.
luck.
She will bring the luck.
I'll do
But
whatever I can. Like
I'll ship you my shirt.
Right, like if I need to like not wear a shirt or something, I'll do whatever it takes. I need these wins like I need water.
I definitely think that playing in such a cold environment and for a bunch of their key players to be out, we really can come out.
They do have a lot of key players also injured, so like yeah, that's going to really help us, I think. Unfortunately, we have to. I'm not saying celebrate their demise, but it helps.
We have to do what we can do. Yeah.
We're taking what we can get.
Yeah. And I do think it's nice that the majority of the rest of our games are at home. I know we traveled to Miami and we play who else? Because I know Minnesota and Vikings are both at home.
No, the Vikings is at home because we play them first in Minneapolis.
So Minnesota and the Lions, they're both at home. So we get to finish our season with 2 home games. So we play and then I guess we go away and then 2 home games. So yeah, that's another small plus. You know, it is Green Bay weather, which we've seen how that works for us. But it is
I know, right?
Here
we were so excited the last couple years for like when it ran through Green Bay in the playoffs and it did nothing for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited because I really do think we can win. The Rams have just been struggling in general. They are probably one of the most irrelevant Super Bowl champions for the next season.
In recent years, yeah.
The worst.
They're terrible, right?
And they sold everything. They had no draft
they literally put all their
eggs
in that basket. They needed to win that Super Bowl. Like that is literally like the only chance they had.
And I see the Eagles doing that this year. They haven't sold as much, but they've made a lot of all-in moves to, you know, I think that they're going to the Super Bowl. I don't see anyone beating them, honestly, except for I hope the Bills. That's my other pick.
No, Sean McVay sold his soul last season. He did what he had to do.
Oh, for sure. He made a deal with the devil.
The repercussion of him hitting that player's helmet. Did y'all see that video in slow-mo? And he was like,
oh. I know. Whenever he saw it, I was like, damn, is he going to have to go in for concussion protocol now? Yeah, no,
they're not doing anything again.
As long as like the Vikings don't do it. I honestly think the Vikings are getting lucky this year. I've seen the refs give them some games. I've seen the defense on the other team give them some wins, and I am tired of them getting lucky. The fact that they had one of the best records in football at one point and had been outscored by their opponents is insane. They are getting lucky in the games that they are losing. They're getting destroyed in. So I think that the Vikings are going to be a fraud. And when they make it to the playoffs, I hope they get their asses handed to them.
Their win margins are so small. It's not like they're blowing these teams out of
No.
the water.
The
Like you said,
Cowboys
it's literally luck.
put a whooping on them. That was the week after, and I got sick. I didn't get sick from the game, but I strained my vocal cords, and I was down. Like I was down bad. Like the doctor was like, "You did what?" And I was like, "I screamed at a football game for 4.5 hours in the 20-degree weather," and she was like, "Oh yeah."
She's like, "Why are you in 20-degree weather? You're from Texas."
And so I was sick, and so I took a nap that day, and I was like, "Well, let me see what the score is." And I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "They put a whooping on them." And so my favorite picture is the two people fighting, and then the Packer fans in the back like recording. And I was like, "Oh, that is my mood all day."
Oh
long.
yeah,
like they put a whooping on them. I was like, "Oh, okay, go Cowboys!"
Oh yeah, I was rooting for the Cowboys over.
I'm like, well, we already beat y'all, so go
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Yeah,
hometown love.
I don't know. There's not many things I hate more than the Cowboys, or not the Cowboys, the Vikings. Like cancer's one of them. I hate cancer. Fuck cancer. But like fuck the Vikings. Fuck them. I hate them so much. They make me so mad. I got to stop talking about them. I'm gonna get really pissed. I hate that they're doing good. I hate it so much.
Oh yeah,
you really do hate to
And
see because they have obnoxious fans too.
Oh,
They
don't
really
get
do.
me started. I grew up around them.
as long
yeah.
as long as the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Vikings don't represent the NFC, I will be okay with any other team. I will be okay with the 49ers. I will be okay with the Giants, with the Redskins. I don't care. Just any of those three teams.
Asterisk Commanders.
Yeah, Commanders. any of those teams, I'm okay with. Just as long as it's not the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Vikings, because though that will be insufferable.
Oh yeah, like I'll be rooting for the AFC.
Couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Couldn't care less. But if it is any of those three teams, then I am rooting for the AFC team. It does not matter if it's the Bills. It does not matter if it's the
Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Haley.
Does not matter.
Haley.
Yeah.
Haley, if you're still watching, would you rather cheer for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl or the Vikings? Very curious.
Oof.
Oh, God,
I would root for the Chiefs. I'd root for the Chiefs. But again, I don't live there, so I don't have to live with the insufferable fans.
It can be rough. I mean, that's everywhere you go, but yeah. So, I mean, Baker, again, we talked about him getting signed. Do you think he's going to show out, or do you think he's kind of just like showing up?
I think the Browns cut him and did him dirty, and
I do.
I'm not even a Baker Mayfield fan. Like, sorry, but like he rubs me the wrong way. But what they did to him, so bad, so not cool. This guy just brought them to the playoffs for the first time in how long?
Yeah, exactly. Like such a terrible franchise, and like he got you places with a rapist.
Yeah, with the worst of the worst.
Mm-hmm.
With the worst of the worst.
Yep.
Literally.
And I mean, Baker Mayfield, we played against him last year on Christmas. I watched that game. He's not the best quarterback. You know, at first they were like, "Oh, he's the second coming." No, he's not that great. I don't think he's a great quarterback again.
The second coming of Johnny Manziel.
Exactly. He is Johnny Manziel 2.0. The vibes are there 100%.
Definitely. I mean, like Baker, something that he's been struggling with his whole career has been interceptions. So like when he was playing for Carolina, he showed struggles because he literally had the same amount of interceptions as touchdowns, which is definitely rough. Interceptions is something he struggled with. And I think he's got like, I'm just like trying to guess what I was like looking at, like a 94 to 62, like for touchdowns, interceptions or something for his career. That is not a good ratio at all.
And see Mr. Ford, Mr. Nixon.
That's what I'm saying. I need to see. This is for Jair to show out. This is for Ford to, do what he can. Like that's what I'm saying. Douglas, give me some of that. Mm-hmm. I don't care who's intercepting it, but give me some interceptions. Some pick sixes.
And throw some interceptions. That would be best case scenario. We could keep Rodgers and Love on the side of the field, sitting down comfortable, having some hot chocolate, and just let Baker Mayfield do all the work.
Exactly. Like if our defense scores us like all of our points, I won't be mad.
No, yeah, I would be okay with it. That is their prime game, especially against a player who some of those players did play against last year. And I want to say he threw 2 or 3 interceptions. I don't remember how much that was last year on Christmas, but I know he threw a couple interceptions. Sorry, just not.
Yeah, but I mean, again, we have Barry as our defensive coach, so we'll maybe get one interception.
He's gonna be like,
If we're lucky.
"Don't catch the ball."
He's like, and if they throw it to you, knock it down.
Be 10 yards back and then just
Yes.
run up.
All right, guys. It's 3rd and 10. They're running the ball.
I don't know. Going back to the Bears because we're going backwards. Did y'all get to watch that game, or was it not broadcasted locally for you guys?
I have Sunday tickets, so
Okay.
it's we get them
Everything was
all.
broadcasted locally.
Yes, I love that.
I find ways to watch the game.
Okay.
Like Reddit streams and all that.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know what's allowed on this. I find illegal streams.
You know what you
Okay.
need? Okay, like you know what you should do if you're single. I did this before. When you're on Tinder, find someone that has NFL Sunday ticket and start talking to them, and then get their password. And then when they change it, find another.
Yeah.
I
Like,
did.
my boyfriend's roommate has it, and like he doesn't know the login. I'm like,
Oh.
just pretend to sign out once. I'm like,
Yeah.
Right?
just
Just say forgot password.
Yeah,
Figure it out.
We didn't do either of those because those streams for us this year have not worked for us, unfortunately. So I didn't get to watch the game, but watching the franticness of the timeline talking about what happened is, I think, more stressful than anything else I've ever seen, because some people are ahead, some people are behind. And so especially the players that are, or the people that are there live tweeting, like they obviously are seeing it live. And so I try to get on their timelines, and I'll just keep refreshing it because like when things happen. So I'm excited to be able to watch at least the Monday night game that will be live, Christmas that will be nationally televised.
Mhm.
The Viking one, if we'll get that, and then the Lion one, if we'll get that. But it's just kind of, it was like stressful. I was like, this is a game that I was like, it's okay if I don't watch it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have watched it.
Mm-hmm.
So the Baker Mayfield interception, hopefully that will be something that we'll all get to watch live.
Right, that'd be nice. But if not, I'll record and send to you.
Yes,
Please do.
Tori will be live tweeting. She'll be our
Shivering.
correspondent on the field.
No,
I
one
never
of,
see what's happening.
yeah, right. Okay, so before we head out here, a fun story. One of the very first Packers game I ever went to at Lambeau, it was January 3rd of 2007, and it wouldn't have been 2003. But anyways, it was so cold there. We were getting hot chocolate to hold on to, and the hot chocolate started freezing, so they had to stop selling it because it was so freaking cold. And it my dad looked it up down the line or something, and it was one of the colder games at Lambeau Field.
That's
and
crazy.
and the man next to us didn't have gloves, so
oh my gosh.
I'm
I will say
here.
that was one of the biggest struggles, was the fact that I wanted to record stuff, but I had gloves, and then the gloves were in the pockets because it was just that.
Just live in the moment, my dude. Just live in the moment.
I did at the very end. I lived in the moment. But yeah, there was people that were behind us that they went and got hot chocolate after the Amari Rogers fumble. There was a bunch of
which one?
Yeah.
Right?
The one that they ended up scoring some points on because they just had the short field. There was a lot of choice words around me, and the people behind me were like, we're going to go get our hot chocolate. I was like, oh, have fun.
Yeah, right. That's a good time to do it.
Yeah, I was like, that's a good time. But the food, we had bratwurst, we had cheese curds, that. All the food there is just so good. So enjoy. I'm very excited to see you as our live correspondent.
Yes.
Yes. Well, that's about all we got. Danielle, thank you again so much for
Oh my gosh, of course. Thank
coming
you for having
on.
me. It's so much fun. I hope someone tailgate with her. She's a lot of fun.
Someone tailgate with me.
Tori deserves it. Yes, absolutely.
I do. It's been so long, my dudes. Come on.
And now you're of drinking age, and you can have all the beers. You'll bring the good food.
When you grow up north, you're always at drinking age. Sorry, mom and dad. They know. But yes. So yes, thank you again, Danielle, for joining us. Emily, always a pleasure.
Oh, always. I've missed you guys. It's been
it's been a really long time.
Haley, you were missed. Maybe next time I come on.
I know, Haley.
Yes, Haley,
wow.
You were missed as well. Have not seen you in over a month now. So
yes, feel better, Haley, if you're still watching again.
She's probably asleep.
And tell your co-host Kingston hi for us.
Yes. All the good vibes for Kingston.
Exactly. But all right, you guys all have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.